Guys, we may have found one of the best neighborhoods near Frisco, Texas, where it's all popping off right now. And today we're gonna show you these massive family homes like this one.
We're also gonna show you enormous luxury houses like this one here. And the best part is, it's a fraction of what you would pay in Frisco. I know you guys want to see the biggest and the best houses, which is why we're starting off with this 4,000 square foot monstrosity. And I guarantee you've never seen a laundry room quite like this one. These guys know how to make a luxury home, and you feel it as soon as you walk in. Super high ceilings, these go up at least 20 feet, and immediately off to your right, you got a nice size office, built-ins, tall windows with plantation shutters, glass French doors right here on the entryway. You've also got a powder room here next to your coat closet, and I love the way they did this, because one of the first things you see walking in is this landing right in front of your curved staircase that goes up and around to the second floor. And for the parents watching, I want to get your opinion whenever we go upstairs, because I don't know if they were smart whenever they did this or not, so you're going to have to fill me in, but we'll get to that in a second. Across the hall here, you've actually got a theater space. It's a decent size setup. It's got a little closet in the corner, but you also get these barn doors that are more than decorative, because if you've got kids or guests, it's nice to be able to block that off when you're watching your favorite movie. You don't want them interrupting all that. But at the end of the entryway here, you've actually got another coat closet. And as we walk into the living room, oh man, guys, I can't wait to show you this, because the way they did the backsplash in the kitchen, I never would have thought to do it, but honestly, the whole setup is just amazing. But the living room here is also phenomenal, because these ceilings again go up to 20 plus feet. You've also got a fireplace that they took this painted brick all the way to the ceiling as well, creates a nice grand effect, and you've got plenty of room here. This is a full-size sitting area as well as an oversized coffee table. Doesn't feel cramped, and this actually threw me off a little bit, because I thought this was the master bedroom tucked away here in the corner. No, the master bedroom is so much better, but this is really cool because I want to show you this. Next to this linen closet right here, you've actually got the guest suite, but it's set up almost like a generational living situation. So you got a decent sized bedroom here, nice high ceilings, big windows, and you've also got a full bath setup as well as a really good sized closet. So when the in-laws come over for Thanksgiving weekend, they've got a nice place to stay and they don't feel put out. But when you're hosting Thanksgiving, look, I'm gonna say right now, guys, if you buy a house like this and host Thanksgiving, you're gonna make all of your friends jealous, because you're gonna be hosting it right here. This dining room is just amazing. Well lit by this sliding glass door onto your covered back patio, tons of natural lighting. Plus this right here, these built-ins are like 10 feet tall. This is a lot of cabinetry and it looks amazing just end capping this dining area. And it doesn't feel cramped at all. This is like a 6-person table. You could fit like a 10-person, no problem. It wouldn't feel like you're in a sardine can. You got plenty of room to mill about, because you know, you're gonna have a ton of guests when you got this much square footage. All your friends are gonna wanna be over at your place on game day. And they get to see this amazing kitchen you got right at the end of your dining room too. Now this thing, it looks like something out of a Target ad, like Chip and Joanna Gaines, maybe Better Homes and Gardens, with all this nice white cabinetry as well as the stainless steel everything. But this was the thing that I thought was probably the craziest thing they did. They took something as simple as 2x1 floor tiles and made it a backsplash. And it's deceptive because it's simple, but it's also got a texture difference that draws your eye. And another thing that's crazy is people think we work for the builders, and that's not the case. We work for you guys, and we're here to help you all out. So whenever you go to buy a home, it can be difficult, it can be crazy, but you want a little bit of an easy button, that's why you call us. We got all the knowledge to help you guys out, and tons of resources on our website if you want to go look at those as well and you're thinking of moving to the area. But right off the kitchen, we've also got a little breakfast nook area. If you don't want to do the whole dining room setup, this is way easier, way closer to the kitchen if you need a little bit of cleanup. And guys, I'll say over in that direction is the laundry room, and I can't believe that I'm saying that we're gonna make a laundry room the focus of a video, but it's definitely worth the wait. But first, we gotta show you the master bedroom, because it's just right here. You've also got a little pantry here. It's nothing crazy, oddly enough, but you'll see why whenever we get to the end of the video. But here, you've got a nice size master bedroom. This thing's big. It's also got a little built out bay window area. This could be like a sitting area, maybe a little reading nook. They've got a setup with a chase and a little desk, which is nice. I don't write, but it's a cool aesthetic. But right at the end of your master bed is the bathroom. So the first thing you're seeing is this big standing tub, and these ceilings are probably 10 feet tall, so it's echoing in here. I've never had a bathroom echo like this in a private establishment, but it's making me jealous because you've got more counter space here than I have in my kitchen. Water closet over there, you got a little makeup stand, plus frameless shower glass, and I love the way they did this right here. So they took a decorative tile on both ends, as well as a different tile in the backsplash, so it makes it feel really tall and also just kind of draws your eye while being simple at the same time. I think that's the thing with this. It's simple yet elegant, much like this enormous closet over here. Ladies, if you've got a winter wardrobe, a summer wardrobe, a spring wardrobe, and a fall wardrobe, you're still going to have more room than you can fill it with in a closet like that. But let's go check out that laundry room because, man, I am so psyched to show you guys this. So right off the kitchen, you've actually got your garage entrance and a mud bench right there. And then this is a little tucked away butler's pantry right off of the entryway. So you've got tons of shelving. You've also got some workstations on both sides, a little window that looks out to the front. And all of this connects to what would normally be a 3rd-car garage because this is a big house. You probably have 3 cars, but if you don't, you set up a laundry room like this. Look at this thing. This is amazing. So first of all, the only part that most people use for their laundry room is right here. And that's like not even a 10th of the square footage you have in here. It's a 1-car garage that they've outfitted with all kinds of built-ins. It's got its own decorative backsplash, a little peninsula workstation here, a wet sink, and even a space for a fridge. These guys even fit a filing cabinet in here, and there's still more space than they know what to do with. This is amazing. But I mean, if this is enough square footage for you, the kids need a little bit more room to roam around. That's why we go upstairs, because you're gonna want to see this as well. For anyone with kids, I know you're thinking, I don't want my kids anywhere near the stuff downstairs. They're gonna break something. Don't worry, that's what this area is for up here, because we got this nice little loft area right off of the staircase. It's got a built-in seating area over here, and the window. This is a cute little reading nook over here. They even did it up with like some decorative painting and everything. Looks really nice. And this is the thing I wanted to get the parents' opinion on, because this overlooks your living room area, and one of 2 things is gonna go over these railings. Either a lot of noise or a lot of toys, and you're going to be dealing with both of them. So as nice as it looks to have these open banisters, it might have been a better idea to have a closed off wall to just kind of block some of that off. But before you make your decision on whether that's a good idea or a bad idea, you got to see this first, because this is only one of the living areas upstairs. Because if we walk further down this hallway here, just outside of what I assume the kids' bedrooms are going to be, you've got this little antechamber here. Now this can be anything from like a game room. They got it set up as like a study hangout area, and this is all walled off, so it keeps all the sound in here and all the toys and mess and everything else next to the kids' bedroom. So maybe the decorative banister wasn't a bad idea, but like I said, you got to tell me what you guys think. Over here, I want to show you the redheaded stepchild's bedroom real quick, and you'll see why. They do have their own ensuite bathroom. This is a full bath, but the actual bed area over here, this is maybe a 10 by 10, 10 by 11. It's a little bit smaller, but if it's just like a nursery or something, or maybe just an extra guest bedroom, that may not be all that bad. But for the kids that you do like, you put them in one of these bedrooms over here. There's a little full bath right here connected to this one. This one's a bigger room. This is probably an 11 by 12, 11 by 13. This is a full-size bed for reference, so you can kind of get an idea. You know, I had a twin-size bed as a kid. It was a little bunk bed, so we just made do with what we had. If I was in a bedroom like this, I'd count myself lucky, and honestly, I'm sure your kids would too, especially if they got this bedroom, because this one's even bigger. This one's probably 14 feet long and probably about the same width as the other one, maybe 11, 12 feet wide, and it has an ensuite bath as well. This is for the kids you really like, the one you expect to actually go to college. They've got a closet here, linen closet here, and a full ensuite bath. This kid's living large. For the other 2, you know, go kick rocks or something. But you're going to want to check out the backyard if you do want your kids to kick rocks, because I got plenty of space for it. All right, now I'll tell you right now, there's not much to this back patio, you know, except for 20-foot ceilings, 10-foot doors, and a sense of grandiose. But it does have a gas tap, so if you plan to hook up a grill or something, you've future-proofed yourself. But I think this was really smart. If you don't want to have to use your sliding glass doors every time, they did put a side door. Not enough builders do that. But on the other side of this patio here, you've got an archway that leads to your backyard. Now, these are 70-foot lots, which gives you plenty of room for something like an extended patio. But this little bed of rocks here is just kind of here as representation of how far out it would go. Something like this would be really nice if you're hosting people, because this is a big backyard. You got plenty of room to run around, maybe slip and slide, or a pool if you got, you know, a setup for something like that. You got plenty of space. You're not going to be hurting. And I know you're thinking right now, your pocketbook's quivering in your back pocket right now. How much is this going to cost? Don't worry, we're about to talk about that right now. Guys, we're not about to let a laundry room upstage a kitchen, so we want to show you this one real quick while we talk about prices. Guys, I know your dad told you not to mix your black and brown whenever you're dressing yourself in the morning, but I think these guys did a really good job with what they did in the kitchen. But here we've got an office and a bedroom and ensuite bathroom right here off the entryway. Plus you got a theater set up, and there's going to be a lot of black accents to this house. It's very bold. It's very outstanding, quite like this community. Because honestly, the first thing I said whenever we drove into this place was wow. And it's just been wowing me left and right ever since. You got a bedroom over here, but as we walk into the kitchen area here, little sitting area next to the fireplace, right across from this double island kitchen. Now this technically isn't an island, that's a peninsula, but you can eat on it all the same. It's a really nice setup. And this is very different. They took like a natural wood grain here with this mid-brown, as well as these dark, almost marble-esque with the white streaks going through it. It's a very designer chic look while still feeling traditional. And honestly, like, there are houses that look like this throughout the entire neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is just beautiful. You've got everything from like a crazy amenities center with a fitness center built in, as well as like a pool and splash pad. It has a lagoon entrance right outside of this big catch and release pond with a fountain. It's honestly just gorgeous. And all of this for less than $1,000 a year in HOA fees. But I know you're thinking, like, what does the house itself cost? Because that's probably the biggest cost you guys are going to incur moving into a place like this. Well, the one we just went through is $1.2 million with all the fixing. Don't freak out on me just yet, because you can get into a house on a 70-foot lot for about $700,000. But as you saw, sky's the limit from there, so it can go up really quickly. And if you're looking for a little bit less grass to mow, they do have smaller lot sizes with some more manageable size square footage as well. And Tom's going to show you that in a bit. But we actually crunched the numbers and did the math and figured out what the best deal near the Frisco area is. And we're also going to show you that neighborhood at the end of the video. But right now you get a nice little seating setup. I like the 70s style checkered curtains they got throughout the house. Definitely bringing the retro look back. Again, chic is the name of the game here. Black accents everywhere. Nice big master bedroom setup with the bay windows and everything. Tons of natural lighting, and they offset that glare from those huge windows you have with this black ceiling here. But it's still vaulted, so it doesn't feel low or anything crazy like that. But the master bathroom, again, it feels like a salon. Like, you ever been to like a hair salon and everything's like black and white? Like, this is the kind of look. It's almost like, it's very, sorry, Tom's going to be in the background of all of these shots. There's no hiding him at this point. He's a beautiful man, don't worry about it. But you get a makeup setup over here, dual vanity and frameless shower glass door on the other side of this window peak wall. Oh man, the little honeycomb tile, that's really nice. Anyway, all of the houses here are going to be beautiful, so you're going to want to stick around for more to come.
We're going to show you a couple great family homes here. There's a couple different builders. You're going to see two very different styles as we walk through here. This first one is a great plan for a family. Let's check it out. So this floor plan has a couple things I think the wives are really going to like. We'll get to here in just a second. But right off the get-go, you have your guest suite over here. So you've got a bedroom and a beautiful bathroom really right off the get-go, which is nice. You walk in, you see something really nice. And then right behind the camera here is going to be kind of a flex space. This could be an office. This could be another living area, whatever you want to make it. And I think one of the things that makes this feel so nice is how wide and open all of this is. So if you really like that open concept, this could be perfect for you. But walking in, we are in our kitchen now. And of course, I will say, if you are OCD, you think you like all your stuff lined up, you're gonna hate this kitchen because your cooktop's here and your sink's over here. But if that's not something that bothers you, great kitchen, everything's right here where you need it. Pull out trash can. This is, I mean, these are both good builders, so you're gonna see a lot of this nice stuff. You've got glass cabinetry, decent sized pantry here. A lot of times you get these and they're just little corner pantries. You can barely fit anything in, but that's a decent size. And then of course over here is your dining area. And I love that the ceilings are super tall here. So there's a lot of dimension. This is probably a 9-foot ceiling, but then you have a tall ceiling here and it looks like this jumps up to probably 11 for your living room. So nice big windows over here with a transom up top, so you get a ton of natural light in this floor plan. Now we're gonna go upstairs here in just a second, but first, let's check out the first thing that I think the women would really like. And this is so trippy when you walk in because you can see how close this back wall is, but it actually does open up. So the first thing Jack and I both thought when we walked in was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so narrow, but it's not. It's actually, it feels really nice. They brought some of the outside in with the brick wall here, beams running over the top. I think it's a cool look. And then coming into the bathroom here, you've got an extra long vanity and a good size walk-in shower here. So if you're somebody that doesn't like to open and shut doors or clean a lot of glass, this may be a good option for you as well. And then this is gonna bring us into our closet, which is a pretty decent size. It's nothing over the top, but it's nothing to sneeze at, sniff at. I don't know what the saying is, but this actually wraps around right into your laundry room, which I think, you know, This is something that women really like because you can literally fold and hang up in your closet, right? And then of course you've got your mud bench. This is your entry to your garage there. Now, they do have a good sized back porch. Not gonna take you out on it, but good sized back porch, decent sized backyard. These are 50-foot lots, so you don't have a ton. What we're showing you here is actually sitting on a 60-foot lot. And then the second thing I think women are really gonna like, moms are gonna like, I should say moms, is the amount of space upstairs. So you have this giant living space here where, as you can see, they've got a couple desks, they've got a TV, couches, lots of places to sit. And by the way, if that's something you're looking for, it's like, hey, I want a lot of extra space for the kids, hit us up. That's what we walk these every day. We can say, hey, this is the builder, this is the model you want, this is where you wanna be. But, and then you have this second room, right? So movie room, could be a second play area. And what I think is really great about this is there's this very small space here where sound gets out, right? So most of the noise that your kids are gonna be making up here is gonna be contained. And then over here, we've got our bedroom. So we've got a bedroom here, which this is a good sized bedroom, another good sized bedroom, and a bathroom as well. So everything you need for your kids to hang up here, I guess everything but like snack bar. Maybe you put that in your movie room. You get a little snack bar in there, and then they're not running up and down the stairs all the time. But we're gonna talk prices. But as we do that, we're gonna show you one more builder that's got a crazy look to it. So we're gonna talk prices here in just a second, but I've gotta show you this. This is crazy. This is like, my first thought when I walked in was, oh, we're having a tea party. And then I was like, it's kind of like Alice in Wonderland tea party, and it's interesting. Let's go take a look. So first off, we have this really cool mirror and this kind of winding staircase that goes up. Just getting started with the whimsical fun that we're about to have. But over here, also check out the paint job on that wall. That's pretty cool. But this is your guest suite. So you've got an ensuite bathroom there, kind of like the last house that we just looked at. And this is a 2-story house as well. You've got a half bath here. Then you have this archway. Your garage would be down here along with your laundry room. But here's where the fun starts. So you've got this nice island, but they've chose these decorative chairs with the cool little, I don't know, round details at the bottom. And then you've got this light blue base, and I can't tell, but I think this has just like a little bit of blue in the backsplash, right? So you've got this very light colored taste, which, you know, this is something that I think, you know, could look very different in like a farmhouse setting. But then you've got these greens and whites and whatever, and this opens up into your dining area and living room. And the fact that they've got these chairs and these glasses, I'm just thinking Alice in Wonderland, we're about to have a tea party. I don't know. It looks like, you know, Easter threw up in here. Really cool. Don't get me wrong. I love the staging that's happened here. I would never do this in my own house, but I think it's really cool. So anyways, if you're looking to get into this neighborhood, we'll come back to that. That's really cool. Really tall ceilings here. You can see the second story. But if you want to be in this neighborhood, your property taxes are actually decent. You're looking at 2.3% or just under, and that's including your PID. So there is a PID here, but all in, 2.3 I would say is probably average for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And then good sized room here, continuing with the light colored theme. And this brings us into our master bathroom. I think there's something elegant about it. There's not a ton of space in here, but they've done a really good job with what they've got. And a decent sized closet as well, all the things that you want to see. But yeah, so let's see here. The one downside I would say is squeaky floor. Anyways, carrying on. Yeah, so the one interesting thing about this neighborhood is you can't actually rent your house out. So I guess that's good for long-term, the longevity of home prices and whatnot. But the downside to this neighborhood is definitely not this back patio. This is really nice, actually. You got an oversized patio here. But the downside is the school district. So we're in Denton ISD, which is B-rated on niche.com. And I will say they have their own elementary school here in the neighborhood, which is cool. And so that one is not yet rated. I assume it's probably a pretty good school considering the neighborhood and all the new homes going in, the money coming in this way. You do have a little bit of a coffee bar here, and that's your pantry there. It's not super deep. So that's the one kind of negative about this kitchen, I would say. not a ton of space, but this is really cool here. So you have this theater room. This could be an office, could be a playroom for the kids, right? If you want to have them downstairs, you got little ones, which is nice because then if you have guests over, you can just close all this. You don't have to look at it. But if you are looking to get into this neighborhood and you're looking at these 50-foot lots, you're going to be looking at somewhere between probably 500 and 650 for most of these homes, right? So 650 is going to be on the larger side with like the stuff that we're showing you today with a lot of bells and whistles. If you're closer to 500, those are going to be one-story homes that are probably like 3-2s with an office or maybe a 4-bedroom. But if that still sounds a little too expensive for you, we've got another subdivision that you're not going to want to miss. We're going to go to it next. We picked it because it's got the lowest tax rate in the area and the prices are also phenomenal, so let's go check it out.
Being the oldest of a family of 7, I know how important square footage is. And if that's what you're looking for, look no further because this has everything you need and then some. You're not going to be bumping elbows too hard whenever you're living in a house this big. One of the coolest features about this floor plan is as soon as you walk in, you can actually see the living room, which is really a sight to behold, but we'll get to that in a second because off to your left here, as soon as you walk in, this is actually an office space. It could double as a 5th bedroom if you decide to go with that option, but it's also got a powder room right here next to the door, which is great for emergencies as soon as you get into the house. Plus, garages up front, keeps all the mess at the front of the house easy to clean, especially with these hardwood floors. But you got the laundry room right here as well, so even if they do come in with dirty clothes, the kids can toss all their stuff over here on the mud bench, which is right next to your washer dryer. It's a good size laundry room as well because you've got enough space for like maybe a dog bed or something right next to your washing machine. Keeps the walkway clear. Maybe you could even put a cabinet space or something if you needed wash prep, but you got your coat closet right here at the end of the hallway, and then we actually walk into the living room right here. So this is the thing that I think makes this living room so amazing is the ceiling actually opens up into your 2nd floor. It's like 20 feet tall, so even though it's not very wide, it still feels very open and grand. Plus you got these 7-foot picture windows over here. They don't have any separation or anything like that in them, no frame, so it makes it feel even bigger, more lights coming in, doesn't break up the pattern, and some transom windows up top to really kill all the shadows in the room. Create a nice, open, and bright experience. But the thing I think is really smart about this living room, we're gonna get to in a second, it's just on the other side of the room, and as we come this way, we've got the kitchen. So it connects into the kitchen area. You get a little bit of a drop down here as the ceiling comes back down to that 12-foot height, creates some visual separation while keeping everything open. And this is a good sized kitchen. You get plenty of workspace here if you're prepping food or kids are eating on the island, which is great, by the way, having the sink built into the island, because whenever they make a mess after breakfast, you just take that, scoop it right into the sink. You don't have to worry about anything right there. Cleanup is a breeze. But you also get gas in this neighborhood, and I know that's a really big selling point for a lot of people because I've cooked with gas and electric. I'll tell you right now, I will never go back to cooking with electric after cooking with gas. It is a must for me. And I know if it's a must for you, you got to reach out to us because this can be really hard to find which neighborhoods have what kind of cooking utensils and amenities, and we can help make it easy for you. But all of this is actually connected to your dining room right over here. This little breakfast nook here with the big windows and that little, I do really like the little pop-out window there with the cushion. It's a nice little sitting arrangement if you've got extra kids over for Thanksgiving, because they don't eat at the adult table. You send them over to sit at the kids' table or over by the window, but you do have enough space here. If you did want a longer table, you could fit it in there as well. It doesn't feel cramped, and like I said, plenty of natural lighting just makes it feel very open. But all of that is actually very closely located to where you might end up setting up your home office if you end up living in a house like this, because tucked away in this corner, you've got a workstation here. Right now, they've got this outfitted as a design center, so you can see all of the options. But if you work from home and you're trying to be a homemaker at the same time, I know a lot of us are trying to manage, you know, work life and family life. And if you're working from home, this is great because not only can you have your own dedicated workspace here, but it's just a few short steps away from the kitchen if you're prepping food or anything else for the family while your spouse is away at work, or maybe both of you guys work, and then you can be within earshot of each other instead of screaming at each other from across the house. But the master bedroom is just tucked away right here, and I think they did something really interesting in the bathroom, because as soon as we walk in, Nice high ceilings, a little vault over there with a slope. Plus this thing's deep. It's like 18, maybe 20 feet deep. Again, with this little sitting nook here. My girl, she would turn that into a reading nook, because on a day like today where it's windy outside, but it's really pretty, you still want the warmth and brightness from the sun, but you don't want to deal with all the elements, wind whipping your hair all over the place. But this is a king size bed for reference and some decent sized nightstands, so you're not hurting for lateral space in a bedroom setup like that. But through these double doors, you get this huge oversized double vanity. Mirror goes all the way across. A couple of chandeliers up top. They didn't do the hardware, which gives it that nice clean look, but this was the thing I wanted to show you guys, because Tom pointed this out and I didn't even think about it. They took the shower bench here in this mud pan shower and actually brought it out past the glass. A lot of builders do this, but it'll usually be an inch or two. This one's like maybe 6-7 inches long, and you've got plenty of space to put little decorative items here. But knowing my clumsy self, I'd be drying myself off with a towel or turning around with a jacket and knock it off. It would just end up on the floor. Maybe that's not for me, but if that's something you're looking for, it's a cool little addition. Plus this tile adds a nice splash of color. And ladies, if you've got a ton of clothes, this closet is definitely for you, because not only is the house big, but you get tons of square footage in your closet as well. It wraps all the way around, and this is really smart too. So you've got your security system, your Wi-Fi, your router, everything tucked away accessibly right here in the master closet. So it's out of the way, but you can easily get to it. And as somebody who stuck his router in the coat closet, I'll tell you that is a must, because Wi-Fi goes down every week. And as the only tech person in the household, that means I'm digging through coats and everything else just to be able to plug in an Ethernet cable. But you guys want to check out the upstairs, because there may even be more square footage up there than there is down here. Now the kid in me wants this staircase to be straight so I can slide down it on a big Tupperware lid like a sled, but the adult in me says that's a terrible idea, and I'm sure your parents are thinking the same thing, so they went ahead and curved it. But it still looks really nice because you've got this open banister on this side as well as over here. This actually opens into the living room. You can see into the backyard, which brings in a ton of natural light this direction, and you can kind of keep eyes on the kids from the living room as well, because you can hear them. Whenever the noise stops is when you need to be scared. But here in the loft area, you've actually got a lot of space. This is maybe 20 feet deep, 17, 18 feet wide, big windows over here, and it's actually attached to a theater space over here. And if this isn't enough square footage and you don't want the kids running around upstairs like this, because I know that makes a ton of noise even with this carpet, don't worry, this community has a bunch of amenities that keep them out of the house and keeps the noise away from you and the guests. And we'll get to that in a little bit, as well as showing you guys a little bit more of a manageable house if this is too much square footage to clean. But most people end up taking this flex space here, turning it into a theater, maybe a second living area, maybe a projects or a crafts area if you're into like sewing or knitting or something like that. You need a little tucked away workstation, but it's right outside of the kids' bedroom. So you've got 3 bedrooms up here and 2 bathrooms. One of the full baths is right here, and it's right outside of one of the bedrooms here. If you don't end up using that office space as like a guest suite or something, this can also second as something like that. Gives them their own little bath and, you know, sink and everything away from the other kids, which are going to be here, because we've got 1 bedroom here, and tucked away over here is a 2nd bedroom, or this is the 3rd actually. And this is actually the wash station to a Jack and Jill bath, so it connects with this bedroom right here. And they were smart about it. Some houses we walk through, the bathroom is actually connected to the wash station, and that creates a huge issue. If you've got kids, you know, if one of them's brushing their teeth, the other one can't use the restroom, and vice versa. They were smart. The sinks are separate from the toilet and the shower, so you don't need to worry about some kid being late for school because he wasn't able to prep in the morning because his sister decided to take a super long shower. Don't ask me why I know, but I do. Anyway, let's go check out that other house, talk prices and the other more important bits and bobs. If you're looking to be close to that Frisco, McKinney area, there's one more suburb you need to know about that we're going to show you right after this, but let's talk prices real quick. Now, the main reason we brought you to this neighborhood is how low the property taxes are, but you're still not missing out on all the goodies like your amenities. You're still getting things like your hike and bike trails. There's over a mile of that for the active individuals, plus a pool and playgrounds for the kids. And if you have a house like this, you're gonna have kids because you got 4 bedrooms. One of them's here at the front with an ensuite bath, an optional flex space or office area if you needed. 2 of the beds are actually gonna be here next to your laundry room and one of the full bathrooms right there. And honestly, all of those HOA amenities only come at a cost of less than $100 a month. So you're looking at about $840 a year for all of that. That on top of the 1.92% tax rates, you're still getting, like, you're making the most out of your money whenever you're paying into your house. Not all of it's going to local government and stuff, but that doesn't mean your schools are suffering either, because these are going to be A and B rated schools throughout Aubrey ISD. And honestly, like, this is a 2,100 square foot house, and with a single story, everything feels big. Like, even the master bedroom here feels big. So if you're not building up, you kind of have to build outward. These are 50-foot lots with about 15 feet between houses, so it's a little bit more than you get with a standard 10-foot separation in houses. Everything feels nice and wide. It doesn't feel cramped. Even the closet in here, this is big. You get like a little shoe bench. It doesn't feel like anything's just slammed together. No tuna cans here. You get plenty of elbow room inside your own house, which is a must. Like I said, I was in a very large family in a very small house. It's not the way to go. You don't want to be that guy. But this is a well finished out house. For this floor plan you could get for low fours. So you're looking at about 400 to 430 depending on your finish outs and everything else, any incentives you can throw at it. But most of the houses in this neighborhood are going to run you between mid 300 up to high fives depending on the build, the size, you know, all the options that you throw at it. But if this is what you're getting, I think you're definitely getting your money's worth with something like that. But if you are looking at your other options and you want to stay close to that North Dallas, Frisco, McKinney area, you got to check out this next video. We cover a lot of stuff.